Hello guys, welcome back. My name's Daniela and I'm going to be doing another charity shop book haul. So get yourself a cup of tea, get comfy, and let's jump in with what I picked up from the shop. So the first book that I picked up is The Lying Game by Ruth Ware. Ruth Ware writes thrillers. This is another one of her thrillers. I've collected quite a few of them. I've read one book so far and I enjoyed it. So I've been picking up Ruth Ware books when I see them, and this one's a nice floppy paperback and it cost me £1. So the back of this one says, the text message arrived in the small hours of the morning. I need you. Issa drops everything, takes her baby daughter and heads straight to Salton. She spent the most significant days of her life at boarding school on the marshes there, days which still cast their shadow over her. Issa and her three best friends used to play the lying game, competing to convince people of outrageous stories. Now, after 17 years of hiding the truth, something terrible has been found on the beach. The friends' darkest secret is about to come to light. Front of the book also says, it isn't a game when somebody dies. Okay, next we have Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. This is one that Andy picked up. It says, a thriller, a gripping tale that you will not sit down until it's finished. I did not realise this book was a thriller. I've heard of this book, I had no idea it was a thriller, and it's nice and short, so I might actually read this one. So this is about two friends that have been friends since they were children. They go to work on a ranch. One of them, it says, he doesn't know his own strength, and when they work at a ranch he gets into trouble with the boss's daughter-in-law. Trouble so bad that even his protector George may not be able to save him. This sounds interesting. I'm definitely going to pick that up because it's small. That's a tiny book. Next up, I managed to find Nora Roberts of Blood and Bone. This is in one of the Oxfam bookshops. It's from the Chronicles of the One trilogy. This is book 2. And I think I paid $2.99 for this. And after I found this in the shop, I managed to find book 1 and book 3 online. One I got off eBay, I think, and the other I just managed to find cheap, brand new. So I have the trilogy of this now. I've seen someone mention this on their Bookstagram account and it sounds good. I think it's about a virus. We're not going to read the inside of this because it's the second book. I will, however, read the inside of the first book. So the first book in this series is Year 1, and this says, with one drop of blood the old world is gone forever, and in its place something extraordinary begins. They call it the Doom, a deadly pandemic that starts on a cold New Year's Eve in the Scottish countryside. There's something mysterious about the virus and the way it spreads. As billions fall sick and die, some survivors find themselves invested with strange, unexpected abilities. I'm not going to read any more of that because I started reading this before remembering it was book 2. So I don't want anything to stick in my brain. That's all I'm going to read of this, but basically it is about a virus. People get magical abilities if they survive the virus, and yeah, stuff happens after that. So that's what this series is about. Next up, we found a couple more Terry Pratchett Discworld novels. We got a paperback of Interesting Times. This one was £1.99. And we also got a hardback of Night Watch for 70p. I managed to find book 3 of the Chaos Walking series by Patrick Ness. This is just another one that I've heard good things about. I really want to try it. This one cost me £1.99. Next up, I picked up another thriller. I picked up Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. It says, this family isn't nuclear, it's toxic. Gillian Flynn wrote Gone Girl. So this one says, it's been a while, but Camille Preaker has finally gone home. Sent to investigate the disappearance of two little girls, Camille finds herself reluctantly installed in the family mansion, reacquainting herself with her distant mother and a precocious 13-year-old half-sister she barely knows. Haunted by a family tragedy, troubled by the disquieting grip her younger sister has on the town, Camille struggles with a familiar need to be accepted. But as clues turn into dead ends, Camille finds herself identifying with the young victims and realises she will have to unravel the puzzle of her own past if she's to survive this homecoming. I feel like Katie Colson talked about this and she either said that it was really good or it was really, really bad, and I can't remember which one it was, and I couldn't remember when I picked it up. So this one was £1.99, and then I picked this up. I hadn't heard of this, I just liked the sound of it. This one is called The Glass Woman. I also really liked the cover of this one. It's based in Iceland in 1686, a cold, windswept land where they talk of witches and fear strangers. When Rosa is betrothed to John Erickson, she is sent to a remote village. There she finds a man who will not speak of his recently deceased first wife. The villagers view Rosa's arrival with suspicion. Isolated and disturbed by her husband's strange behaviour, her fears deepen. What is making the strange sounds in the locked attic? Who does the mysterious glass figure she is given represent? And why do the villagers talk of the coming winter darkness in hushed tones? So yeah, it just sounded really creepy and cool, and set in Iceland. I just like the sound of it, so picked that one up, and that one was £2. Next up, one that Andy picked up, it's called Shantaram by Gregory David Roberts. So it's a novel of high adventure, great storytelling and moral purpose based on an extraordinary true story of 8 years in the Bombay underworld. So this is based in the early 80s, and it follows someone who was an armed robber and heroin addict, escaped from an Australian prison to India, where he lived in a Bombay slum. There he established a free health clinic and also joined the mafia, working as a money launderer, forger and street soldier. He found time to learn Hindi and Marathi, fall in love and spend time being worked over in an Indian jail. Then, in case anyone thought he was slacking, he acted in Bollywood and fought with the Mujahideen in Afghanistan. Amazingly, Roberts wrote Shantaram 3 times after prison guards trashed the first 2 versions. It's a profound tribute to his willpower, at once a high-kicking, eye-gouging adventure, a love saga, and a savage yet tenderly lyrical fugitive vision. Gregory David Roberts. Oh, okay. It doesn't say it's autobiographical, but it says based on an extraordinary true story. So I don't know if this is like all fact or if he has exaggerated some of it or what, but it's the author is the character in the book, and that actually sounds really interesting. I'm intrigued. This one cost us £1.25. So the next book that I picked up was, this again was just one that I saw, read the back, liked the look of it, cover caught my eye, very nice cover. And it's called The Idea of You by Robin Lee. This book is about a 39-year-old woman who ends up meeting a world-famous sex symbol and captivating frontman of a boy band. Anyway, she meets him and ends up having a secret love affair with this famous lead singer of a boy band. It says, can Celine allow herself to fall for the boy the whole world wants, or will she have to make a devastating choice? I just thought it sounds really interesting. I'm looking forward to reading it. Next up, I managed to pick up quite a bit of fantasy romance / paranormal romance. These were in one of our local shops where they do 3 for £1, and somebody must have brought down a load of fantasy romance because I hit the jackpot. So I got, I think this is book 1 and 2 in a Kelly Armstrong series. I got Bitten, and I also got Stolen. I think it's werewolves. Yes, werewolves. So werewolves, paranormal romance. And then they also had J.R. Ward novels from the Black Dagger Brotherhood series. I've had plenty of opportunity to pick so many of these books up, and they just, I haven't picked them up because there's like so many. The series is huge. I don't know if it's like 20 books. It's something ridiculous. And so that overfaced me, and I have not picked them up because I'm like, do I really want to start collecting a series that is that big? And they were on 3 for £1, so I caved. I've now put myself into collecting this series. So I've managed to pick up, I can't remember what order these are in, but none of them are the first one. I got Lover Awakened by J.R. Ward. I got Lover Mine, Lover Enshrined, and Lover Unbound. So the Black Dagger Brotherhood series it has vampires and I think vampire slayers. So it is a vampire themed paranormal romance series, and it's huge. And I have just picked up 4 books in that series. So yeah, those last 6 books I showed you, they were all on 3 for £1, so I paid £2 for the Kelly Armstrong and the J.R. Ward books. Also on 3 for £1, I picked up The Guest List by Lucy Foley. I've got The Hunting Party already. I managed to pick that up at a different time. I feel like one of these gets good reviews and one of them has not so good reviews, but I can't remember. That's what I have in my head anyway. So The Guest List says, each has a secret, each has a motive. Off the windswept Irish coast, guests gather for the wedding of the year. Old friends, past grudges, happy families, hidden jealousies. 13 guests, 1 body. 1 guest won't leave this wedding alive. So somebody's gonna die at the wedding, and I think it's a thriller, so should be interesting. So also on the free for £1 I picked up Criminal by Karen Slaughter. Didn't realise this at the time, but I think this is number 4 in a series, so I can't read it. I don't think. I'll have to look it up. But it says a woman is found brutally murdered in a sordid Atlanta apartment. Her blood-soaked body bears a chilling similarity to a woman found dead almost 40 years earlier. Soon Special Agent Will Trent finds himself returning to the home he grew up in, and a past that could hold the clue to the killings. Karen Slaughter writes crime novels, and apparently they're really gory. I've heard good things, so I thought I would pick that up. Also on the free for £1 I picked up On the Other Side by Carrie Hope Fletcher. I liked the sound of this one. Again, I think it's a romance. It says, Evie Snow is 82 when she quietly passes away in her sleep. It's the way most people wish to leave the world, but when Evie reaches the door of her own private heaven, she finds that she's become her 27-year-old self and the door won't open. Evie's soul must be light enough to pass through, so she needs to get rid of whatever is making it heavy. For Evie, this means unburdening herself of the 3 secrets which have weighed her down for over 50 years before it's too late. As Evie begins the journey of a lifetime, she learns more about life and love than she ever thought possible. And somehow, somewhere, she may also find her way back to the only man she ever truly loved. So, last of all, in this haul, I have 2 hardbacks which I picked up. I feel like these were like maybe £1 each. I can't remember. I don't think they cost much. And the first one is The Crane Wife by Patrick Ness. I just really like the cover of this. It has like the wing and then this lady, and her hair kind of extends around the back of the book, and there's a volcano. Don't really know what that means, but I just thought it was cool. And this one says, one night George Duncan, a decent man, a good man, is woken by a noise in his garden. Impossibly, a great white crane has tumbled to earth, shot through its wing by an arrow. Unexpectedly moved, George helps the bird, and from the moment he watches it fly off, his life is transformed. The next day, a kind but enigmatic woman walks into George's shop. Suddenly, a new world opens up for him, especially when she starts to tell him the most extraordinary story. Wise, romantic, magical and funny, The Crane Wife is a hymn to the creative imagination and a celebration of the disruptive and redemptive power of love. I just really liked the sound of that. It sounds very magical and romantic. I'm just looking forward to this one. The last book on today's list is The Dollmaker of Krakow. Again, this was just a cute little book, little hardback that I was drawn in by the cover. It's so cute. And the back says, this is war, there is pain, but there is magic and there is hope. And this is based in Krakow, Poland in 1939. Magic brings a little doll named Carolina to life in a doll shop. She becomes friends with the gentle, broken-hearted dollmaker who owns the shop. When the darkness of the Nazi occupation sweeps over the city, Carolina and the dollmaker must use their magic to save their Jewish friends from a terrible danger, no matter what the risks. Weaving together magic, folklore and history, this timeless story is about finding hope and friendship in the darkest of places. And then on the inside, it's so beautiful. It has this beautiful illustration. I just think this book looks stunning. Okay. There's a dedication in here. It says, for the children who were lost in the Holocaust and for River who sent me flowers from over the sea. And it just sounds like it's going to be really interesting based on the setting and what they've done with this book. So I'm looking forward to reading that. I'd never heard of it before. I'm really glad that I found it. Okay guys, so that is everything I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.